Hello everyone and welcome to a new speed build. This is the Autumnal Tudor Cottage and I'm so excited to be here today. A lot of you knew that this speed build was coming because I made my first commentary video technically making this house, and I am so happy that you guys all loved it and are super encouraging. I am definitely going to do more. I think from here on out, I'm going to kind of follow this format where I do like a commentary video, and then maybe there's part 1 and part 2 for like exterior and then interior, and then they'll be followed by a speed build just so people have so many different options to recreate, watch, and it's like also entertainment, and it's also just kind of a win-win all around because it makes it easier for me to edit and have more consistent content because it takes me so long to build, and this way it's able to get me more frequent uploads and give me some more time, and I'm not so frantic, so I really love it. Anyways, more about the build. This house is a 3-bed, 2-bath cottage, and it's super moody and perfect for fall, but honestly any time of year is perfect for this kind of house. I just always like to go for this kind of house for fall because I think it just really is like the perfect fall house to like trick or treat at, and it's just so cozy. Like, who wouldn't want to cozy up in this house? Every time a fall comes around, I want to do a fall house, and for some reason I always try to do something a little bit different, and I always end up coming back to this Tudor style. And so now I have like literally a full neighborhood of these houses, which I am obsessed, and I don't regret anything, but it's just a little bit funny. And every year it's a different color palette. So the first year it was like green, last year it was red, and this year it's like this deep blue, like teal. And I can't pick a favorite, but I do feel like I like this one the most just because teal is my favorite color. But I feel like the red really fits with the fall colors of the season the best. But I really do like the color palette with the teal and then adding that like pink or red, like the warm fall leaf color to it. It's just a great contrast, and I'm forever obsessed with that color palette. I think I've used that color palette kind of in like 2 different builds now, and I probably won't stop because it's just so perfect. This house was so fun to do. I feel like with every fall house I have so much fun, but I think adding that commentary piece made it so much more fun. It was so much more like nice and entertaining because basically what I would do is I would record like a section of the house, like I would just do the exterior and then I would pause and then I would edit the video up until that point and then I would just continue going because I knew that if I continued to just like build and then I went to edit, that it'd be so overwhelming, so much work, because editing sometimes takes me a long time, especially with commentary videos, but doing it that way, it gave me a good break when building to just like stop and like edit that portion, and I had so much fun and then go back into building. So it was just a nice little frequent break, and I really kind of enjoyed seeing it come to life and how the final product ended up looking like. And if you haven't watched my commentary video, I will have it linked below, so you can go check that out. It means the world to me that you guys are all really loving it and very encouraging. I was a little bit nervous that, you know, maybe it's not as good or people won't like it as much. And so far I've gotten a lot of positive feedback and reactions, and I'm just so very happy because it just works so well to be more active with this kind of schedule and plan that I have going. So I'm super excited to continue and do some more. I already have like a lot of videos planned, and I'm nervous with school how that might end up turning out, but I have high hopes because every time I try to be consistent, it never works, and I feel like it's just because I never really rethought a lot of my like videos, because if it's not working, why don't I try to, you know, do something different to fix it? So that's what I'm trying, and I'm just so grateful that you guys are really loving it, and it's just been so nice. Also, you might be wondering, I thought you weren't gonna do voiceovers over the speed builds anymore because of the commentary videos, and I just really wanted to do one today. I probably will continue to do this just because I kind of like to do it. I think it makes it more entertaining to just have the voiceover on the speed build, and I can talk more in depth and do like more like personal things. It's just more natural, I feel like. So I might not do it on every speed build voiceover or like part, you know, but I will try my best to if I have time, because I do think it just makes it more entertaining and like fun. And I know I do love to yap. That's kind of my favorite thing to do. So yeah, I hope you're not sick of me because I will just yap forever. Anyways, this week I actually went on a little like mini trip. It was like 3 nights with my best friend. We went to Arizona and we had so much fun. I was stressed like this entire month leading up to it because I literally like we booked this so long ago that I didn't even know if I was going to go back to school or not, and so it really sucked because I was so stressed about missing like basically a full week of school, especially because we do a lot of partner projects and I don't want to leave my partners in the dust. I want to be a team player. So I felt really bad, but you know, with just good communication, it all works out. But I definitely was very stressed. But then like once we got there, it was just so busy. Like I had no time to think about what's going on at school or anything. I had to do a little bit of schoolwork on the last day because, you know, just have to do it. But yeah, it was so much fun. We actually went for a concert. A lot of you guys might know Joe, that's how it's pronounced, DJO, or Joe Keery. He's in Stranger Things, but I've loved his music ever since he like released music. I actually didn't even know that it was him until a couple years ago. I realized that was him, and that made it extra special because I'm like, wow, that's like actually crazy that I've been listening to him since like 2019 and I didn't even know it was him at the time. But we went to his concert when he toured the first time, and then he announced the second part of his tour, and we were like, we had to go because the post-concert depression was so bad that we had to go again. And we just like booked the trip so long ago after the tour was announced, and we just literally like had so much fun. And so I'm still like now having another post-concert depression recording this video because it was so good. If you ever get to see Joe in concert, please go. And you like his music, please go. It's so good. It was so good. We basically got barricade, and so it was even more like special. We did have to fight real hard for our like barricade spot. We did like buy VIP, and it's crazy how much from the first time we saw him to now how much he's grown, because we showed up casually at like 11 or something. for like the VIP tickets last time, and we literally were like, there was like nobody ahead of us. We were like maybe like the 10th person in line, and then this time we were there at 8 a.m. and we were the 50th person in line, which is crazy, but we still basically were barricade. We were like the second row from barricade, which pretty much is barricade, like you're right there. But we really did have to fight for our spot, because with like the VIP thing, which thank God they do this, it would have been so much more pain if they didn't. But basically, if you have VIP, and I think this applies to like a lot of other concerts with VIP, you get like first access into the venue, and they have you like line up whenever, and they give you wristbands at like 1 p.m. or something around there, and that just holds your place. So we didn't have to wait until like, you know, when doors open at like 6 p.m. But we waited from like 8 to like 1. We got our wristbands, and then we went home for a couple hours, and we got like ready. We got to chill, because if we didn't have that and we had to wait for the whole day, I actually don't know what I would have done, because I am just so impatient, and that's just such a long time to wait. Like, that's just crazy to me. I know people do that, but like I just cannot. Like, it's just too much. So we went home, like we got ready, we were like kind of just chilling, and then we were gonna go out to eat at In-N-Out, because if you're in Arizona or like you live in the West, like In-N-Out is a really big thing. I don't have it where we live, so it's kind of like a novelty thing to like have In-N-Out. And so we were like, let's get something really cheap and fast. So we went to In-N-Out, and you know, and I've never had it before until then, shockingly, because I've been to, you know, California and Arizona multiple times, but I never actually had In-N-Out, and it was really good, by the way. We got In-N-Out, and we were like yapping and stuff, and we were all like ready to go. And I did not account for how much traffic there would be, because there's like traffic like anywhere you live in the US, but especially because it was like 5 p.m. And I looked at the map earlier, and it was like we were gonna be there. It was only like a 30-minute drive or something. So I was like, okay, we're gonna leave at 5, because we had to be back there at 6 if you want to get like your VIP experience and we're like have your spot reserved, because we waited this entire day to get these numbered wristbands. And you don't have to wait if you're a VIP. You don't have to wait for these wristbands, but like if you want a really good spot, like if you want barricade, you have to like, you know, be waiting and stuff. So you can show up at 6 o'clock as a VIP person and still get a really good spot, but if you don't wait, you're not gonna get like super close, if you know what I mean. And so we did not like wait all that time for nothing, and you only have like 10 minutes at like 6 to like 6:10 to like to get lined up and back in order. So we looked at the time, and it was 5 o'clock, and I looked at the map, and before I checked, like the day before, it was like, you know, 30 minutes of traffic or something. Like that's how long it takes from where we were to like the venue. And I just checked, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like 50 minutes now. And so we like run out. We're basically done, but we were just kind of like being kind of casual, because we thought we had all this time. We run out, because I just know personally from personal experience that traffic always gets worse. Like it's just like, you know, you just never want to risk it, because it's always I always feel like it ends up on the later side. Like, you know, even if it's early, it always ends up taking longer than you even think it does, and like even what, you know, Google or Apple Maps predicts. So I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be so late, or not like super late, but I'm like, we're gonna be like really close, like this is gonna be crunch. So we run to the car, and we're like frantically like using the Apple Maps and stuff, and like trying to get the best fastest way. And it's just, you know, it was just not fun. We were like, it was in the car for like 45 minutes. We were like stressed the entire car ride. I was trying to be optimistic. You know, my best friend was like, she was like literally praying. She was like, oh my gosh, like this is terrible. And I'm one of those people who tend to be like more optimistic in like bad situations. So I was like, no, it's okay. Like we'll make it there. It'll be close, but like we'll make it there. And if we are late, like hopefully, like, you know, just pray for the best. Like hopefully, like, you know, things work out. That wasn't all for nothing. But, you know, you just don't know how that's going to play out. And so, like, she was just so stressed. And she was like, you know, we have to go so fast. Like, you know, run it. And I, like, you know, where I live, people are very casual drivers. Like, they're not, like, super aggressive. But Arizona, like, you know, the drivers there, they have a history. They're a lot more aggressive. They will cut you off a lot more. You have to be, like, I feel like you have to pay attention a lot more, because I'm not from Arizona, that, like, I don't know the roads as well. And, like, my best friend, she, like, lived there for a while, and so she was, like, you know, she probably knows the road better than me. But we were renting a car, so I had to be extra careful. Like, I don't want to, like, you don't want to get in an accident, because renting a car, if you have any scratches or on the car, like, it's so much more expensive, and like my insurance would have covered it and stuff, but there's just so much hassle that if you have any issues with a rental car, it's just, you don't want to do it. So I'm like, bro, I've never driven over here before. I'm in a rental car. I'm not really familiar with like this car. It's not my car. I was like very stressed, but like she was like, no, we have to go, like go, like, you know, do kind of more like risky driving. And I'm like, no, I'm not a person who takes risks. Like, I don't do that. I'm a very safe driver. And like she was stressing me out a little bit. We were both like kind of stressed, but I was like, no, it's okay, like we're gonna get there on time, like just trust. And I was like trying to be very calm, even though I was very stressed, but I was like, you know, don't pressure me, like don't make it worse, because I don't want it. Like, I'm already stressed, like we're both already stressed, like don't make it worse. But I was just really trying to like keep calm. I'm like, it's gonna work out, just, you know, trust, it's always gonna work out. So we end up getting really close. We're like trying to find parking, and luckily, you know, the parking wasn't too far, but we just keep seeing the time get like kind of more like scary, like it's starting to get closer and closer, and like, you know, we're just getting like, the time is going like, oh, we shaved off some time, and then it would go back, and like we'd arrive at 6 o'clock, and then, you know, it would say, okay, 5:59, and be like, okay, you know, whatever. We're supposed to be there at 6 o'clock, like lining up, like ready to go in the door at 6 o'clock, and it was like arrival time at 6 o'clock. So we finally get close to the venue, and I just tell her, I'm like, you need to hop out and like run and like go find our spot in line, and like I'll just drop you off right here. I'll go find parking, like leave me to do it. If you can like save our spot, and like, I don't know, tell them or something that I'm gonna be a little bit late, like I just get out, so then at least like I can go and find you and like get my way into the front or something if I have to, because like I did work for that, okay? Like we were both waiting for so long. And so I like she jumps out of the car, I like whip around the block, and I find parking, and I literally pull in. Luckily it wasn't like a parking ramp, it was super easy. I pull in, there's a spot right there, I pull in, stop the car, and I start sprinting down, and I like almost like face plant a couple times. I've never ran this like fast in my life. I was literally running in like my nice concert clothes all the way down. I finally found her, and we were like just in time. Like she was in line like right where we were. It was easy because you get familiar with people in the line. Like we kind of became like a little bit close to the people ahead of and behind us. So I saw her, and my heart was like, okay, perfect. Like this ended up really well. They were like checking people in, and I literally like walked up, got in line, and then we basically got checked in. And so it was like, it was perfect timing, but it was so stressful. She could not believe how fast I ran. She like was like about to call me and be like, oh, like where are you? We're about to get checked in. And I literally made it in perfect time, and she could not believe how fast I ran, because I'm not kidding, I was running. I do not play around about Joe. I do not play around with that. And it worked out fine, but like also I dropped her off at like a stoplight, but right before, like right where the venue was, or like a little bit before where the venue was, because I was like, we have to, like, you know, if this was what has to happen, like this is what has to happen, you know. I was like, I'm not gonna play around with this. And so I drop her off a little bit before the venue as I go to park, and like she told me that she was running fast too to get into the line, and like there's a homeless person like walking around, like just walking casually on the street or whatever, not doing anything, and she starts running up behind him, and he literally thought that like she was gonna jump him or something, and like he was starting to get scared for his life, and she felt so bad because, you know, he was like so scared. But I guess like a little pro tip, if you are ever like in a weird area or something, just start running at people because they get freaked out. But yeah, I feel really bad for that one guy, but it was a really funny experience. But we got there and everything was all well. But I've never been more stressed in my life. I'm not even kidding. Like, I mean, I've been in stressful situations, but that was like, it was just 30 minutes of like sheer stress, because they say that if you get there a little bit late, they might not honor your like VIP experience. But I was like, I just knew in my heart that it was gonna work out, but you still have doubts. And so we were just running, and it was so exhilarating, but it was so much fun. And the concert was great. Like I said, it was so much fun. Once we got there, we had so much fun. And I recorded like a lot of videos, but I'm a little bit mad because my camera, I don't know why, it like distorted the audio so bad, and so now I have to like figure out if I can recover it in any way. Luckily, from the first time we saw him, we literally were barricaded, like we actually were barricaded, so I got a lot of good videos there. But I'm still so sad because he played such good songs, and my audio was busted on my camera, but it's okay. I'm still kind of sad about it. Like, I'm actually like really pissed about it, actually. I'm not even kidding, but it's okay. I'm gonna see if I can find a way to restore the audio, but I just know I'm really sad about it. But yeah, that was just a really fun experience. And then we did like the whole concert thing was like a whole day thing, and then we went to like a lot of shopping malls. It is so fun to just, you know, be in Arizona as like a tourist and just, you know, see it. And we went to like a fun little country club that her like family like lives in Arizona, so we went to like a country club and like swam and like hung out and just like had a spa day basically. And then we went to Sedona for a day, and that was beautiful. I actually never went to Sedona before, and that's so pretty. It was so fun to see all the really cool houses and landscape. We went on a hike there, and we ate like really good Mexican food, and it was so much fun. But now I'm back into reality, and I have to like, you know, go back to school on Monday. But luckily I have like this whole weekend to like get my life back together and everything. But it was like, it was so fun, and I was so stressed for that whole trip, like leading up to it, and now I'm like, wow, like that was a great vacation. And now I'm like, I have to go back to my schoolwork, and I have to go back to like work and like doing all this and like making my room clean and stuff. And yeah, but it was a nice little break. It's like halfway, I feel like, between the semester, so it's kind of a very nice breaking point to like step away, catch a break, and come back to reality before school gets really insane, which I'm not looking forward to. Like, I just know school is gonna start really kicking me in the butt, and I'm not looking forward to it, but because I really want to like, you know, balance my life out. But we'll see. I'm really trying to get it all together, and I feel like it's working somewhat, you know. But that was like a crazy fun trip. I'll probably have more stories. I feel like there's more stories to that too, but I'm already yearning for my next trip because it's just so much fun to travel, and there's so many funny stories of like traveling. I feel like that's like the best memories, and you always have the funniest stories when you're like traveling. And that was like our first time like we rented a car. I've never done that before. I was so nervous for that, but it was super easy. I'm still nervous because I've heard some of the companies like they kind of scam you to like get more money, so they say that there's like dents on the car or something that you didn't even do, but like, you know, as long as you take a lot of evidence, photos and videos, you should be okay. So I'm hoping it's okay because I still haven't like gotten a full receipt from it yet. I think it takes a couple days after you return it to like get it, but it was so fun, and I feel like I can travel the whole world now just because like I feel like I've done a lot of not a lot of traveling, but like quite a bit alone. And so now that the last thing I was missing was like renting a car, and now that I can do that, I'm like, okay, I'm on top of the world. Like, I can do anything. So yeah, I want to do a lot more traveling because, you know, who doesn't, honestly. Anyways, I think I'm going to end the voiceover here because I've been yapping for quite some time, but I will see you guys in the next voiceover, which will be very soon. I am now having so many different like parts that I have to go catch up on editing and posting. So I will see you guys in the next voiceover. Bye.